I think my wife is having an affair with her best friend. If it weren't for the fact that she is a straight woman, I'd be certain that something is going on, but because she's never expressed to me that she likes women, I'm kind of on the fence. The biggest thing is just the amount of time they spend together. For example, my wife likes pottery, so we did a few classes together, but I wasn't really a fan, so her friend Erica started going with her instead. Erica even admitted to me that she doesn't really enjoy it either, but because my wife likes it so much she's just happy to attend. It's like Erica makes a point of showing me how well she knows her and all the things she does for her. She takes her to dinner, to art museums, to shows. They take our 3-year-old son with them too when it's child appropriate, and while I've never been told that I can't attend these things with them, I feel like a third will every time I do. When I work late, Erica will come over and cook dinner. Actually, in the first few months of our son's life, she came over all the time after my paternity leave ended and did all sorts of chores for her, so that my wife could have time with the baby without worrying about anything else. Now she'll randomly bring my wife flowers, or drop off books and toys for our son. When they're together, they're always so close. My wife has always been very tactical with her friends and family. She's big on hugs and hand holding, and it's not that I'm usually a jealous person, it's just the way they hug each other that makes me feel unsure. They hug like they're holding each other? You can just glance at it and see how much they care about one another. There have been times when Erica has given my wife tickets or a gift card to something for the two of us to do, so even then it just feels like something Erica is doing for her instead of a normal gift you'd give a couple. Or Erica will outright tell me in secret about a gift she thinks my wife will want, and even though my wife is always happy with it in the end, I feel like because I'm her husband, I shouldn't have her best friend in my ear suggesting things for anniversary or birthday presents. I can't just present all this to my wife and say, I think you're cheating on me and here's why, because I think it would make me look like a crappy husband who's jealous of how happy his wife's friend makes her. To be clear, I don't think it's ever escalated past an emotional affair, but I obviously don't want it to go past that. I just needed to get it off my chest because it's been in the back of my mind for a while now. Edit to add, my wife and I do spend time together, and I do organize activities for us to enjoy. I got her into hiking when we were dating, so now we go as a family when we have time. We attend dinners together, I get her flowers on special occasions, and yes, I am interested in doing things that make her happy. I also do have friends of my own, yes, but we don't act like this with each other, which is why I felt a bit unsure about the situation. Erica also likes women, and though I know that doesn't mean she's interested in my wife, I feel that many of the things they do together are things you'd do for a significant other and not just a friend.
This girl is trying to live my life. Okay, so I'm at the point that I actually want to scream and then get as far away from everyone and everything. I met this girl Jane when I was like 5 years old and we became friends. We went to the same birthday parties and we had the same friends. We are the same age. So when we reached preteen, she actually moved in down the street from me and we became like proper best friends. So into our teen years it was very much whatever I would do, she would do it better. I became goth. She became edgy alternative. I would like a boy and she would not only tell the boy that I liked him but then she would date him. When I had my first boyfriend, she was the one who told me that he was cheating on me, but not really as a supportive friend but almost in a gloating way. Throughout the years we became less close, but she was still of the mentality that she could do anything that I did better. We are now in our 20s and I have a very different line of work. Like not many people do it, and if I told you what it was it would be easy for me to be found. But when I got into this line of work she decided that she had an interest in it and started texting me for help with it. I had put everything from our teen years aside, so I did help her, but she tried to use it against me so that everyone would think I was absolutely insane and a horrible person. Thank goodness it didn't work. I found out from her friend over the last few months that every person I've ever been friends with, kissed or dated, she's gone after. Now let me be blunt. This girl is stunning. I don't have low self-esteem, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, she makes me insecure. But it's gotten to a point where if I'm about to start dating someone or being friends with someone, I will always ask the question of, have you had relations with Jane? And if the answer is yes, I will cut contact. I just don't want to be associated with this girl in any way. I have her blocked on everything and she will still copy anything I do online. It's honestly feeling stalkerish. Here's where I reached the last straw. I was recently talking to a guy who I was interested in and there was no reason for me to believe that he wasn't interested too. I was getting daily compliments. We were talking constantly. He then followed me on Instagram. All was good, and then out of the blue he completely ghosted me. That was alright. I got over it and moved on. My friend who still follows Jane texted me to say that the guy was liking all of Jane's posts on Instagram, and that she had been seen in a bar in town with him the night that he started ghosting me. Now they are liking everything the other one does all over social media. But here's the kicker. I never asked him if he was associated with Jane. In fact, I already knew that they didn't know each other. So now I'm feeling more creeped out. I've changed my passwords on everything, but it's like this girl is psychic and just knows everything about me all the time. I honestly don't care about the guy, but I feel like I can't do anything anymore.
I accidentally caused a war between my family and my brother's wife's family with one innocent text message. So my brother's wedding happened 2 days ago, and it turned into a complete chaos, which I know even though I wasn't there. You might wonder why I didn't attend the wedding if it's my brother's. Well, it's because of his wife's family. He did send me an invitation to the wedding because he wanted me there, but his fiancée told him I couldn't attend because I had a boyfriend. You might be confused, but I'm a man, a bisexual man to be exact, and I have a boyfriend who I wanted to bring to the wedding. She said even though she doesn't have a problem with that, and he doesn't have a problem with that, Her extremely religious parents who already forced her to do the wedding in a church would most likely banish us from the wedding and cause trouble between our families. After she told him that my brother told me I couldn't attend and told me why, you might think I was angry. The truth is I was relieved. I hate going to big events with lots of people because of my social anxiety, and I already was used to not being able to attend certain events because of my sexuality. So it was nothing I haven't heard before. So at the day of the wedding I stayed at home with my boyfriend. It's worth mentioning my parents apparently didn't know I wasn't attending the wedding. I was chilling at home cuddling with my boyfriend when I suddenly got a text message from my parents asking me where I was because they couldn't find me at the wedding party. I told them I wasn't attending the wedding and if my brother hasn't told them anything. They said no and asked me what happened. I didn't see any reason to lie, so I sent them a text message telling them exactly why. Now I have to admit I don't exactly know what happened after I sent them this message because they read it but didn't reply, and why did they care in the first place? They didn't notice I wasn't there before until the wedding was already over. They only noticed when the wedding party started. However, apparently my parents talked to my brother about it and all of a sudden my absence was the main topic of the wedding party. From what I heard, two fronts formed. On the one hand my parents and the rest of my family against the family of my brother's wife, and apparently he as a husband now felt compelled to take her side and tried to argue in her favor. It's crazy to think that I was just sitting at home living my best life with my boyfriend while all of that crap went down on his wedding. The wedding party was ruined and my brother appeared on my door angrily screaming at me why I felt the need to ruin his wedding. I was confused and asked him what happened and he told me everything. I told him it wasn't my intention. I just told our parents what happened because they didn't know and wanted to know where I was, and I thought he told them beforehand. He screamed at me that I ruined his wedding. I told him it's not my fault, he wasn't honest with them. I just respected their wish to not attend the wedding. I couldn't know it would go down like this because like I said I couldn't attend several events before because of my sexuality and my parents never said anything about it, so I thought it would be the same thing here. But I gotta admit it's kinda sweet that my parents and the rest of my family stood up for me. They haven't done it before. That's a more than welcome change, but I still feel kinda bad because apparently I really ruined the wedding party.
I think my husband is using his weekly poker nights as an excuse to meet his secret boyfriend. My husband Jake, 35 male, and I, 33 female, have been married for 7 years, and I love him deeply. He's a surgeon, and on most Tuesday nights, he heads out for poker games with the boys, colleagues from the hospital, but lately, I have been noticing some odd behavior on his part that makes me question the authenticity of these poker nights. It all started 6 months ago when I decided to surprise him with a packed dinner on one of his poker nights. Who doesn't love a homemade meal while they gamble? What I saw, or rather didn't see, when I got to his friend's house, where the poker games are supposedly held, was concerning. The lights were off, and there were no signs of any poker game happening. Jake was nowhere to be seen, and our common friends had no idea about any poker night. From that day, I began to keep track of his schedule more closely. I noticed that during these poker nights, he would turn off his cell phone, something he never does because of his profession. At their conclusion, he would often stagger home way past midnight, reeking of alcohol. He also started taking more care of his looks. He'd started working out, got a new haircut, and his wardrobe had become noticeably chic. One day, I decided to casually talk to him about it, but as soon as I mentioned it, he got overly defensive, even accusing me of being controlling. That was the first time in 7 years I had seen him react so aggressively. Jake had always been an open book. Why was he suddenly an impenetrable fortress? Odd, right? Now the kicker. As I was dusting our room, a guest receipt for a city boutique hotel fell out from Jake's jacket. The date on the receipt? Last Tuesday, the same Tuesday he was supposedly out at his poker game. What he was doing in a hotel while I was under the impression that he was playing cards is beyond me. Believe me, I don't want to assume the worst, but an encounter with one of Jake's colleagues at the grocery store made my heart drop. The colleague let slip that Jake had been spending a lot of time with his new resident, Tom. I admit I snooped on Tom's Facebook profile, only to find a picture of Jake and Tom at a fancy restaurant, dated Tuesday. These circumstances made me question my husband's loyalty. Could he be romantically involved with Tom? Is he using his so-called poker nights as a cover to meet Tom? My heart says no, but the evidence is stacking up against him. I'm in a dilemma because I don't want to confront him without being sure, nor do I want to break my marriage apart at mere suspicion. I need help, advice, and if anyone has been in a similar situation, your inputs can lend me some courage, and please, serious feedback only. I am so lost right now.
I haven't seen my family in 2 years because they covered up my brother's affair with my wife, and now they want me to come back. 2 long years. That's how much time has passed since I last saw my family. Why? Because they covered up the fact that my own brother was having an affair with my wife, the woman I was committed to for 7 years. The question haunts me, am I obligated to reconcile, or can I continue to cut ties without guilt? You see, I loved my wife. I loved her with every ounce of my being. I allowed her to live with me rent-free while she pursued her studies, supporting both of us financially at times so she could chase her dreams and passions. We had dreams of a future together, and I thought we were unbreakable. The day I found out about her affair with my brother, everything changed. What made it even more painful was finding out that some of my family members knew about it but didn't tell me. I felt completely heartbroken. I was so angry that I ended up confronting my brother and even knocked him out. After that, I quickly packed my things and left, moving far away from all the lies and betrayal they showed me. The hurt, the anger, and the feeling of being betrayed are still with me. I can't help but hate them for what they did to me. Sometimes, my aunt would call me, and she would sound really angry and bossy on the phone. She would say things like families should always be together. You need to make up with your brother, it's what God wants. My mother, who at first seemed like she understood how I felt, started to act the same way as my aunt. She began saying the same things, telling me that I was hurting the family by not being around. Why should I come back when you knew what was going on and didn't say anything to me? I would ask her. She wouldn't answer, just staying silent, and then she would keep asking me to come back. She wouldn't even talk about my question or show that she understood how much I was hurting. I don't just hate my family, I'm also shocked by how they don't seem to care or understand how I feel. Some of my friends have left me too, because they agree with my family. I just can't understand how everyone, even some people I used to call friends, can tell me that I should just come back and act like nothing happened. They say things like I need to support my family and families stick together, but those words don't mean anything to me now. Do they even know what they've done to me? It's like they don't know or care about how wrong this all is. I've questioned my own sanity, wondering if I'm missing something. Perhaps I'm the one in the wrong. But deep down, I know that's not true. I used to provide financial support to my family, but that's gone now. I see no reason to support them, and I don't give a damn if they can't pay their bills. This entire ordeal has turned my life upside down, and I find myself lost, confused, and hurt. Am I really obligated to go back to my family through thick and thin, even after such betrayal? I seriously don't see how I'm in the wrong here, but the weight of their expectations weighs heavily on me.
I canceled my best friend's bachelorette party after she fired me as a bridesmaid. Now she's going off on me. I'm a full-time student, so I am currently living off student loans and what little hours I can work outside of school. I have spent around $1,000 on my best friend's wedding so far. $350 on the bridesmaid's dress, $350 on the flight home to attend the wedding as I'm away for school, and about $100 on the gift I sent for her bridal shower. The maid of honor is currently very pregnant and having a rough time. She asked me to plan the bachelorette party. I agreed. I planned it perfectly and had it as a surprise. I messaged the other girls the plan. When they all agreed, I went ahead and booked my idea. This is on top of the $1,000 I spent earlier, $400 on a limo to go bar hopping, the bride loves bar hopping, and I booked us a $700 Airbnb to crash in afterwards. As of right now, the other bridesmaids did not chip in, this was out of pocket, but they said they would pay me back later. About a month later, me and two other girls got kicked from the bridal party group chat along with a paragraph from the bride saying we were no longer invited because we weren't honoring her wishes when asked. She didn't answer what she meant or what we had done wrong. 2 days pass and she adds us back to the chat and apologizes, saying she's just stressed. We all talk about it and made up. Yesterday same thing happened, except this time I'm the only one removed with a paragraph going off on me, telling me I'm not respecting her or her wishes, that she wishes she never invited me or asked me to be a bridesmaid. When asked what happened or what I did wrong, again radio silence. Today she messages me apologizing, saying she's sorry for lashing out and that she'd like me there but not as a bridesmaid as it would make her uncomfortable, and that I'm not allowed to wear the dress I had already bought as it's a bridesmaid's dress. I told her I respectfully declined as I couldn't afford another dress as I've already spent too much on this wedding, and that I didn't want to make her uncomfortable on her big day. She then lashes out telling me I should just take more from my student loans to buy a second dress. So with that, I went and canceled the Airbnb and the limo. I told the other bridesmaids what had happened and they agreed it was fair. One of them must have told the bride about the secret bachelorette party as she messaged me telling me I'm a jerk and I've ruined her entire wedding, as she now doesn't have time to book a new bachelorette party in time, and she nor any of the other bridesmaids have the money or savings to book anything. I also managed to get the refund for my flight, so really I'm only out about $450 for a wedding I'm no longer invited to. I really don't feel like I'm in the wrong here, but I feel a little bad because this is for her big day.